So this application just continues to come up. It's called TimeTree and it's a calendar application that wants you to help to share your calendar with other people. You can also invite your dog, you can invite your grandma, and you can invite your baby as well. And they can all have an account on TimeTree. This is a really cool application and great for sharing your calendar. Hello everyone, my name is Francesco. If you're new here, hit subscribe because we're gonna do loads of videos like this. And today we're reviewing TimeTree. It's a calendar app that is really helpful for collaborating with other people. And I think the best place to start is the pricing. So there's something called TimeTree Premium and it gives you a $449 US per month pricing. There is also an annual pricing at $44.99 per year. And this gives you access to additional abilities like file attachments, no ads, sorting for any important events to make sure they're prioritized above other people's, something called vertical view, which allows you to view up to 3 days vertically, and a bunch of other abilities. I'll show us that demonstration on screen of what's included right now and what's not. So this application is Japanese based. It does come with some advertising for the free mode, which you do notice at the top of the screen. Now, in terms of using the different modes, there are 3 core modes. In event mode, there is month, week, and list. List will allow you to add events, and adding events is great. And here's a feature that I particularly like. For example, if you've got a car, a dog, or a baby that doesn't have an account, which obviously they won't have, then you can create a virtual member. This will allow you to associate a virtual member to each of the accounts. You can add some basic details about them, but it's perfect for breaking down a calendar on somebody else's basis. For example, then I can break it down and see what things my kid has that's coming up that isn't necessarily associated with me, but I need in my calendar, which is a definite huge bonus. So adding a calendar event is really easy. Add a title, add whether it's all day, start and end, and you can also save it as what's called a memo. Now, a memo is basically not a calendar event, it's just a memo, but this is great that you can have this in the app too. You can also give it a label as well, which shows on the app, and there are a range of different colors. You can also add additional people if they have a TimeTree account. Now from down here, you can set whether they have a notification on, which is just a reminder, as well as the ability to add a to-do list, a note, a URL, a location, and something called a day counter, which is perfect for a preset like wedding events, travel plans, or even dieting and wedding things that you might want a day counter for, which will give you an indication of how many days are left, and you can get a periodical preference of a reminder of when these days are left, which is really nice. You can also repeat events with a bunch of custom options like daily, weekly, monthly, and also some decent changes there. Now, inside of each of the events that you create, it means that you can see them, but you can also discuss them with other people that are invited. This is great because you can leave comments, images, heart them, and follow them to see whether there are any updates, and perfect for sharing it with other people. Now, a lot of people like the fact that there's this social calendar element to the experience, but others might find this a bit overwhelming. To be honest, it's really quite simple in nature and looks quite easy to get started. Now, creating memos is sort of like creating a little checklist items inside of different areas. There are some pre-created ones, and you can create a memo from any of the pages you're on. And creating a memo means you can attach a URL too, which is great for getting started. Now, you can also see activity log for anyone adding events, and you can also change things like your cover image, and your calendar details and what name appears on them. But there are some limitations when it comes to the vertical views. You get a 1 day and 3 day vertical views, which make it look much nicer, as well as importing events from an external calendar. For example, if you're on iCloud, you can bring your whole iCloud calendar with you, but you'll have to check what the limitations are on things like Google Calendar. I do believe you can bring that in, but it's worth checking out what limitations you have and what settings options you get on the mobile version. So additional abilities, if you go to the top left hand corner, you'll find a bunch of functions. Like for example, you can have recommended calendars for things like relationships, friends and personal, which is great for sharing with other people. Now, how does the sharing look? You can invite members and get started collaborating on an event. And this is great for creating an event and making sure other people were invited to it. Then that means you have a dedicated calendar to that person. But you're probably wondering, okay, this is great and all, but how do I see all of my calendars at once? Well, you sort of can and you sort of can't. There's a calendar view which you can jump between, and obviously being able to access all of the different views at the same time, you can go to all calendar in the top left hand corner. This can get a little bit messy when you've got so many different people all in one location. And a lot of people like the fact that you can do things like pinning the important things across multiple calendars, which probably can make it a lot less hectic. This application is really nice when connecting up with calendars. For example, I can bring in my existing calendar and see any other things that I have coming up. This is really nice because, for example, I can bring in my work calendar through Google Calendar really easily. Now, the one thing that's annoying is the advertising. This obviously is the aim of the game. They're trying to get you to convert over to being a customer, but you can get a free month using our link below if you're interested. This obviously does come with some limits. You can hide the advertisements temporarily, but they keep coming back. And there are loads of pop-ups to help you to promote you to premium. But this is a decently built application, and it comes with a bunch of functions that those who love shared calendars will die for. So thank you very much. I hope you found this video useful. Let us know if you have any questions, and we'll explore more calendar apps over on toolfinder.co if you're interested. Thank you very much.